The study has revealed a dangerous spike in domestic violence against women and children linked to the annual series between NSW and Queensland. Experts say the disturbing findings, released today, suggest the Origin's particular celebration of heavy drinking, masculinity, tribalism, and the toxic level of aggressive alcohol promotion have collided to encourage drinking to excess and domestic violence. They say the NRL more broadly has become a battle of toxic masculinity and beer brands, where it's hard to know where the game ends and the violence and alcohol sponsorship begins. New data from the New South Wales Bureau of Crime Statistics and Research spanning 6 years, from 2012 to 2017, indicates a 40.7% average increase in domestic violence and 71.8% in non-domestic assaults across the state on Origin game days. The Centre for Alcohol Policy Research at La Trobe University examined the data for recorded domestic and non-domestic assaults in NSW on Wednesday nights from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. the next day for the weeks around Origin games. Public health advocates are now calling on the NRL to acknowledge and address the issue. The data spanned 11 weeks when games are held and included Victoria as a control measure because of the low interest in rugby league in that state. Michael Livingston said the spike in cases was significant and consistent in NSW across the 3-game series in each and every one of the years examined. In the 12-hour window from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. on State of Origin game night, women and children in New South Wales are almost 40% more likely to become victims of domestic violence, Dr. Livingston said. Of note, when we compare those findings with Victoria, a state with less interest in rugby league, the data reveals no statistically significant increase in violent assaults on the dates in question, Foundation for Alcohol Research and Education boss Michael Thorne said. It was crystal clear the games were driving an increase in domestic violence, including alcohol-related incidents in the state. It's happening on the National Rugby League's watch, and women and children are being harmed as a direct consequence of these games, Mr. Thorne said. Mr. Thorne said an increase in domestic violence associated with a sporting fixture was not new. There was increase in domestic violence experienced in England during the 2010 World Cup. The drivers of domestic violence are complex and many. However, the disturbing findings released today suggest the State of Origin's particular celebration of heavy drinking, masculinity, tribalism, and the toxic level of aggressive alcohol promotion have collided in such a way as to encourage drinking to excess and domestic violence, Mr. Thorne said. While the experts acknowledged there was no magic answer to eradicating domestic violence, they said the onus was on the NRL to acknowledge the data and outline what measures it would take both to reduce the violence and educate and protect women and children. They said the saturation of alcohol sponsorship in the Origin series and the NRL more broadly was something the code must address. The NRL and NSW Rugby League have been contacted for comment.